Hey guys, coming into me another movie review for you guys, and this movie we're reviewing, I was really looking forward to this movie, honestly, guys. I really was. It was probably one of my most anticipated movies for the rest of the year, especially because of, the other Pixar movie that came out this year. I was really looking forward to this movie, and that movie is The Good Dinosaur. I was really looking forward to The Good Dinosaur, especially after Inside Out, because of how great that movie was. I didn't think this was going to be as good as Inside Out, but it looked like it was going to be, well, I'm not better than Inside Out, but it looked like it was going to be just as good. And I was really hoping that Pixar would be back to that great momentum of movies. And I checked out The Good Dinosaur. And overall, what I think of The Good Dinosaur, I was a bit disappointed by this movie. I will definitely say that. Now, this is not a bad movie by any means. It's just not for me. It's really not. I think if you're younger, like a young kid, even if you're like 11, 12, you'll enjoy this movie a lot more than if you're a teenager. If you're a teenager, you definitely will enjoy this movie a lot more. And I'll talk about some of the things I really like about this movie. There are some things I really did enjoy about this movie, but there are a lot of things that I thought was not as good. But let me just say right off the bat that if you guys don't know the plot of this movie, the basic plot is, you know, that big asteroid that supposedly killed all the dinosaurs? Yeah, that completely passed them, and 65 million years later, there's still dinosaurs living on Earth. They are the mass population. They're basically just trying to live, and one day there's this, one of those dinosaurs is named Arlo. This couple have three kids. One of them is Arlo, and the two kids, Libby and Buck, they're adjusting to life very easily. Arlo is much more shy. He not isn't really dealing with the circumstances as well. And one day there's this storm that hits that kills most of his family, and he runs into this cave boy. Eventually he names Spot, and he's the only other person that Arlo has. And Arlo wants to reunite Spot with his family. At first Arlo's trying to figure out, should I kill this cave boy or not, because that's kind of what they do. They even think of humans as critters, but Arlo basically wants to get back to his family, and that basically is the plot of The Good Dinosaur. Now, that does sound very interesting. It's just the pacing to this movie is very off, and I'll get into that. Now, by far, the strongest thing about this movie is the two actors. The two actors in this movie were very well casted, and I thought they were probably the best thing about this movie. Raymond Ocha as Arlo is really great in this movie. I thought he did a really great job. I really cared about his character. You see how much he cares about his family and how he just wants to make them happy. And then when he's away from them, he just wants to do whatever he can to get back to them. And I thought he did a very good job in his role. I definitely thought he was really great. Now, let me say this. Neither of these performances is nowhere near as good as any of the five performances in Inside Out. They're just not. I thought they were really good. But definitely he did a very good job in this role. Very impressed by him overall. And Jack Bright Spots did a great job at just not talking throughout this entire movie, because in this world, these are still cavemen. They don't know how to talk. They can't talk. They're acting like animals. I found this relationship to be very interesting and actually very cute. I really like seeing this, the difference between these two, the way that Spot acted like the animal and Arlo acted like the human. I thought was really cool. I like the way they played with that, and I thought overall their bonding was very, very good. Definitely really enjoyed that in this movie, and they did a very good job. Everyone else was just okay. Definitely they were all just okay in this movie. They do eventually introduce a villain, but it's way too late into the movie. I'd say about an hour and 15 minutes is when we finally get the villain, and that's when the movie's almost over. There's not much left to the movie. I mean, it takes a very long time to get to the villain in this movie, who I honestly thought was kind of meaningless. I didn't really think we needed a real villain in this movie. Sam Elliott, Anna Paquin, and AJ Buckley, the three people that do eventually become the villains, they're fine. I just found them to be kind of pointless and didn't really go with the rest of the movie. And any of the other people that Arlo met throughout the movie, I didn't really find them necessary either. I really didn't. So overall, I really found the two performances to be the best. Everyone else were just okay. The parents were pretty good. Jeffrey Wright and Frances McDormand, Henry and his mother, I thought they were both very good. They both did a very good job, and I really enjoyed their characters. Um, But overall, I just found the rest of the acting to be just okay. So the acting was fine. The directing by Peter Son, I thought was good, but it definitely reminded me more of Cars than it did other movies. This isn't really a movie that's trying to make you think. This is not one of those kind of movies. If you're looking for a Pixar movie that's going to make you cry or is going to have some sort of a deep message or something like that, this movie really isn't trying to do that. It's just trying to entertain kids, which I do appreciate because I mean they are the target audience for this movie. Let's be real here. As much as we do enjoy these movies, the target audience is kids. They're the ones that are going to enjoy these movies the most, and it's probably why I didn't like the movie as much, because of the fact that it is supposed to be for kids, and you kind of forget that it's supposed to be for kids, and this is one of those cases where you do kind of forget that at times. But I thought the directing was pretty strong here. I definitely liked the directing. I liked the tone that he had. It's just the movie I didn't really find to be that funny. I definitely found it to be more humor that a young kid will find funny, definitely, rather than someone my age who I did not really find it that funny at all. But I did like the directing for the most part. The heart that this movie has is very good. The movie definitely does have a lot of heart, and when they do play with your emotions, it actually works very well. And mainly because the bonding between these two is very, very strong. My biggest issue with this movie is the screenplay. It just didn't really go anywhere for me. I wanted to see more of what this world was like, now that the dinosaurs aren't living there. They didn't really do that much with it. I didn't really find it to be that interesting of a concept. It sounds a lot more interesting than it is. You kind of forget that all the dinosaurs just didn't die out because there isn't that much of a difference. And I was a bit disappointed with that. One of the things about Inside Out that works so well is seeing how they operated in Riley's head. It was such an interesting concept. And here they didn't really do much of that. And this is a Pixar movie. I mean, you would expect them to do more with that, and they really didn't. The other thing is that doesn't really feel like a Pixar movie. I've heard people say it feels more like a DreamWorks movie, and I would definitely agree with that. And when we are talking DreamWorks, I'm talking like old DreamWorks, not like the new DreamWorks, like the good ones. I'm talking about old DreamWorks when they were not nearly as good as they were. And I was a bit disappointed by that, definitely. I wanted to see more of the world, and I don't really think we got enough of the world. A lot of this movie is them on the run, them running away, them trying to get back home, and it just wasn't that interesting to me. I wanted a lot more with this, and I found the humor to be very childish, which, again, I understand it's for kids. It's just someone my age can't really enjoy this movie. It was hard for me to enjoy this movie. Now, let me say, once we do eventually get the villain introduced, it does get quite thrilling towards the end. I definitely really like that. But like I said, the best thing about the movie is definitely the complex bonding that these two have. They have a very complex relationship. They have a lot to deal with, and I think they really handled all of that very, very well here. Their bonding overall. I really cared about these two characters. I like seeing how they felt about the world and things like that. I thought they were both very interesting. But other than that, I didn't really find the movie nearly as interesting as it was. I really do love the first, 5 minutes of this movie, though, because it's a silent prologue. It's showing the world. I thought they did a good job with that. I just wanted to see more of it. And I was a bit disappointed, I have to say, I'm not going to lie to you. But the story of Arlo and this, Cave Boy spot is very interesting because of the fact that you don't know, because they're supposed to be enemies. They are. They're not supposed to be friends. They're supposed to be enemies. And that would make sense, obviously, because the human population eventually wiped out the dinosaurs. They really did. And it's interesting to see these two bond. I thought that was well handled. I definitely enjoyed that overall. That was definitely really great. And there is a really great scene where they do talk about their past that almost got me on the verge of tears. It wasn't really got me on the verge of tears, but it was emotional. I enjoyed it overall. I just didn't really care about these characters as much as I really wanted to. Honestly, I really didn't. The cinematography is gorgeous, this movie. It looks fantastic. I mean, the animation, not cinematography. The animation looks beautiful. I definitely really thought the animation looked really something great in this movie. Not nearly as good as Inside Out's animation. Their animation was definitely a lot better. But I found the animation in this to be good. I definitely really did enjoy it. I know people are talking about the hyper-realistic backgrounds, not really going with the cartoon dinosaurs, and I think they did that for kids, honestly. I think they did that for kids, and I think it's well done the way the dinosaurs looked, just giving human faces. I definitely enjoyed seeing that, and I thought that was definitely really great the way they handled that. So that's something I definitely really enjoy about the movie. Um, I didn't really like the dialogue in this movie, I definitely will say that. There were kind of some points in this movie where I wish the movie really didn't have much dialogue at all. I think it would have worked a lot better. I get that dinosaurs are supposed to be more intelligent than humans, but I just felt the movie might have been a bit more impactful if it was maybe a short film. There are points in this movie where I'm like, you know what, this could have easily been a short film and not an actual theatrically released movie. But I definitely like the animation. I thought it looked very good, and especially scenes at the end. There were some very thrilling scenes, and the movie is quite dark. I will say that there are times in the movie where it really did go dark. They just didn't really go into that dark direction that I thought the movie was going to go. And you see, the way they advertised this movie seemed like it was going to be a lot more adult and seemed like it was going to be a lot darker than some of the other Pixar movies, and it's really not. It's very childish, and that's fine. It's just not really something that I'm going to remember. The editing I found to be very choppy to this movie. I found to be very all over the place. I mean, the movie would be, they go to this place, they meet this person, they never see him again. They go to this place, they see this person, they never see him again. It just didn't really seem like the movie was really building up to anything until the last, like, 15 minutes, honestly. I was like, where is this movie really going? It wasn't really going anywhere. And they could have just had it so it was just these two. I honestly felt a lot of the supporting characters were very unnecessary and contributed almost nothing to this movie. I was a bit disappointed by the way they handled them. I really did like the score of this movie. I thought it was very cute. I definitely liked the score. The tone was very good. But overall, I will say The Good Dinosaur is a good movie overall. I definitely enjoyed it for the most part. I just found it to be a lot more for kids than I thought it was going to be. If you went into this movie thinking this is going to be the next Inside Out, you're definitely going to be very disappointed. In fact, I don't really think this movie's going to get Oscars. I don't. I mean, yes, it's Pixar, but I definitely think Inside Out has a much better chance at the Oscars than The Good Dinosaur does, which is a bit disappointing because I was expecting a bit more from this film. But I'm still going to give The Good Dinosaur a 3.5 out of 5 or a B. It's a good film. I enjoyed it for the most part, but it's really nothing I'd ever watch again. It's nothing that I can really recommend. Unless you're a young kid or even a preteen, I'd say someone 10, 11, 12, they'll enjoy this. Someone who's 13 and up, you're not going to enjoy this. I'm just going to tell you that. You're not going to enjoy it as much. You're probably going to be a bit bored by it, and there are definitely Inside Out is a much better movie for everyone, honestly. Inside Out, that's the movie for everyone. If you want to talk about movies for everyone, that's the movie that you need to see. If you want to see a movie that's really for everyone, Inside Out is that film. But other than that, definitely I found this to be one of Pixar's weaker efforts, and definitely more in the vein of Cars. It's not as bad as Cars, it's not Cars, but I definitely found it to not be as interesting as I thought it was going to be. But overall, guys, this is my review of The Good Dinosaur. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you guys saw this movie, you have seen it. I was definitely a bit let down by this movie. If you are a kid, like I said, I think you'll really enjoy it. If you did like this movie, I'm fine with that. I can understand if you enjoyed this movie. But even if you're a child at heart like I am, because I usually really do love kids' movies, I was a bit let down by this one and was a bit bored, honestly. But that is my review. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you guys in my next video, which will be for Jessica Jones, and I will see you guys for that. Okay, bye.